Hi, it's Ralph Lahni again, back with another episode of Planetary Calendar. Ralph is going to take a look at what he wrote for the forecast, and then we'll chat.
Yes. Talking about the lunations. The August 3rd full moon starts a week of changes hitting Taurus issues, which means real estate, banking, agriculture, and possible weather or geological events. This is a polarizing time, but be brave and reach out. Wonderful connections are possible. Bring youthful enthusiasm to interactions even if you are a bit beyond young. The new moon white circle day on the 18th has high creative energy, but you may see weird financial or weather events. Venus sextile Uranus brings sparkle to social and romantic connections. Projects require extra work, but the energy is there to tap. Attract help by sharing previous accomplishments and elucidating concrete team goals for you to focus on. Now, the days to watch. On the 4th, quick Mercury turns loud when he enters Leo. This is a fast Mercury right now, so things move along quickly, and anything to do with Mercury, communications, writing, applications. Watch out for overstated intentions, though, with that Leo Mercury. On the 7th, Venus leaves cerebral Gemini for cushy Cancer. On the 15th, Uranus turns retrograde, dialing in financial chaos. On the 19th, fast Mercury entering ruling sign Virgo conjuncts the royal star Regulus. Communications, contracts, and work done with the hands fly. On the 22nd, the Sun entering Virgo conjuncts Regulus, bringing joy to daily tasks. The white circle on the 27th has the Sun trine Moon and Venus trine Neptune. It is especially supportive of creative projects related to home and family.
Well, not home and family versus, being out in the world. That theme has been going on for a lot of this year, and it continues on here because, by the time Mercury leaves Cancer, but Venus is entering Cancer. So,
Yes.
It takes that place of the mother opposing all of the Capricorn energy from the outer planets. And, of course, the other thing that I find really interesting and significant, we talked last month about the fact that Uranus was the only outer planet that was direct, and lo and behold, it goes retrograde. So what's the date on that when it goes retrograde? In Taurus on the 15th. So for half the month, everything is retrograde from Jupiter on out.
Yep.
So, August is kind of like a slow doldrums of summer kind of month. So you're not necessarily pushing to get your projects and things forward that strenuously. And it's a good thing because with the retrograde, it really makes you recalculate, stop again. Most of the retrogrades are, even the Taurus retrograde is an earth sign. So the sort of stable aspects of your life are now kind of put on hold, or stabilizing aspects in your life. Let's put it that way. So there's a lot of thinking, rethinking, redoing.
Being that it's Leo, that help you might need to attract might be for a celebration, because it is, after all, in Leo, and Leo loves celebrations.
Leo?
Yes, because when the sun goes into Leo, in the forecast it says about that early lunation on the full moon, that you can attract help, and it's a good time for a celebration. Realize that when the outer planets many times relate to the outer world, governments, the churches, the social organizations, the economy, things out there beyond our direct control. The personal planets, Mercury, Venus, Mars, the moon, they relate much more to our personal life. And at a time like this, and it happened in July too, where you have this big polarity going on. You have all these planets, 3 planets in Capricorn, out there in the most outer signs. Remember, Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius. So it's in the outer signs, the outer planets in the outer signs. Meanwhile, you have all the personal planets in the very, very personal signs. It's very polarized. And so in those situations, unless you are a captain of industry or someone where you can pull the strings of the economy, or you can pull the strings of the government, you want to focus on your personal stuff. Focus on that which gives you joy. Don't watch the news. And it's not going to, if you don't watch the news, it's not going to change anything, honestly. Focus on your personal joy and on those you care about. And it'll be a much more joyful August for you, I think.
Well, and that full moon on the 3rd is a black box day, because along with the sun opposed moon, there's Mercury opposed Saturn. And so that's just not a day to try to get your agenda to put forward. And I have to mention while we're here, I have to mention August 5th, because it simply says, went to the beach. Because if you have your calendar following along, no, that's not a non sequitur that just got sort of left over there or some ghost of something else that we were writing. It just is so unusual to find absolutely nothing going on a day. There's no planets above or below the number. There's no aspects. And of course, the moon is in Pisces. And if that's not the beach, go to the beach.
Right.
So that's a little bit of Ralph humor there for you. The next day, at least, the moon is making aspects to Jupiter, Neptune, and Pluto. So otherwise he would have gone to the beach 2 days in a row.
Exactly.
So anyway, and then we have the 2 white circle days, the 18th and the 27th. As a numerologist, I always think it's very interesting the preponderance of white circle days that are 9s. You add the 1 and the 8 together is a 9. The 2 and the 7 together makes a 9. And 9 is the universal number. It's what we aspire to become. And it's always nice to see those white circles on those 9 days, numerologically speaking. Of course, you can figure out your own personal numerology, but for the general numerology, that's just an interesting aside for me. The 27th has that sun-trine moon that Ralph loves so much. And if that weren't enough, Venus trine Neptune. So that's a nice day. There's a little bit of a void, of course, in the morning, but the afternoon is great.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing that's interesting, too, we list the meteor showers throughout the year, of course. And this one is one of the prettiest of them, which is the Perseids. And it's also coincidentally Left-Handers Day, August 13th, which I think should be a national holiday.
And it's also Ralph and Lahni Day because we met on August 13th.
I said it should be a national holiday.
Right. Yes. And I'm left-handed, so he took it as a sign.
Exactly. And we had meteors, too. Yeah. The Perseids. So
that's just the peak day.
Yes.
There's a couple of days, at least a day before and after most of those meteor peaks, but we're lucky when we find a day that has room to write all these extra things onto the calendar, so we're not pushing our luck by giving you more than one day.
But watch for those either geologic or financial upsets going on. There's a lot of stuff pointing that. Usually August is a relatively quiet month, but there's a number of heavy-duty angles going on that could trigger some weird stuff. So if you are in the financial world, don't get too out of touch.
Well, and Carol always likes to point out, that August, at least here in California, is back to school month.
Yes.
So by the time the sun is heading for Virgo, and in this case, the sun enters Virgo on the 22nd, but Mercury enters Virgo on the 19th. Ralph said he was moving fast. This is the second sign change for him. And, it's kind of good that Mercury, the child, writing, learning, all those kinds of things, moves into Virgo ahead of the sun moving into Virgo so that you can get ready for that kind of pay attention to details, back to school energy. So
yeah, and you really see a lot more activity related to children and getting things together in this month because of that fast Mercury. Remember, Mercury relates very strongly to children. The day in which Mercury is opposite the Saturn is like the day in which you can imagine the adult and the child not getting along well. On the 17th is actually the sun is conjunct Mercury. It's called a combust day, and it tends to be a day when people's heads kind of get a little short-circuited because...
Well, if you add the parallel with Mercury and Uranus on there, that could be like a little explosion right there. So, if the little ones have a little temper tantrum, you might want to blame it on the planets.
And say, go play outside. Go play outside. Come back when you're in a better mood. But
the moon is in Leo. They want to be outside.
Exactly. But it's a month in which Mercury moving so fast, Venus moving into Cancer, it's going to be a lot of, if you were a writer, for instance, this would be a great time to be writing something. If you're an author, it's a great time to author something when Mercury's going fast. Any type of communication really benefits from that. As compared back in July when it was retrograde and stayed in the same sign for the entire month.
Exactly. It was, and it was all in Cancer, so that was a whole.
Yeah, when we're doing
other.
We write books, so
piece.
when we're working on book projects, we keep track of this because now they're going, okay, we're going to work on this for a while, and it flies much faster.
Right. You mean we actually use astrology in our daily life?
Only when there's something we actually want to do.
We've been asked that so often, and
yes.
it's yes. And that's really the purpose of the calendar, is so that it makes it easier for people to really live the astrology on a day-to-day basis. And we appreciate, we've gotten so many ideas and suggestions and things from our calendar subscribers. And that's how things like the meditations and the essential oils came to be.
Yes, and in the 2021 version, there's like 9 or 10 new improvements that we've added, which is wonderful. The meditation for the full moon on the 3rd is the limitless nature of love, combined with the need to align your heart with your actions, makes you a transformative power in your community. The blend we suggest is helichrysum and sandalwood. But you could use a variety of very floral and very woody scents. I
would say that the substitute for helichrysum there that comes to mind to me would be sage. So, yes. Helichrysum's a little pricey. You may not have it hanging around the house.
Right, and then put it in number 5 and number 11. Number 5 is the section of Leo. Number 11 is the section of Aquarius because it's the full moon.
Right.
And then on the August 18th, the new moon meditation is allow your heart to fully speak through your words, touch, and passion. Recognize those places where you are courageous. Sing oils are chamomile or rose.
And because it's so heart-based, I think that also ylang ylang would be another one. If you have that one, that's also
Yes.
I'm the budget girl. What can I tell you? I'm looking out for everybody to be able to make use of this without breaking the bank. So, use your imagination and kind of follow the sense of this scent.
Yes.
And you can always hit me up with an email.
Yes. And place it in section number 5, the area of passion and enjoyment. Area of Leo in the house, in the 12 terrestrial houses.
So enjoy Leo. Yeah. Come back and see us again next time.
For Virgo.
And to check any of our forecasts or any of our TV shows, go to www.spaceandtime.com.